I think that the problem with the Sedition Act is really it's a piece of legislation that criminalizes expression of ideas and thoughts without any intention to create any kind of incitement. Because it is not sedition per se, it is seditious tendency that is being penalized here. A statement can be misinterpreted in many ways to become a seditious tendency. I find this so stupid sometimes, but I don't agree with these two words when they're put together. Sensitive issue. That's ludicrous. It doesn't exist as a concept. They are sensitive people who are immature. But there's no such thing as a sensitive issue. An issue is an issue. If it's an issue, it should be discussed. It should be open to debate and things of that nature. But why should I be stopped about talking about this issue because there's another immature person? If this immature person doesn't like it, this immature person can get out of the room. You don't have to stop me from saying what I want to say when there are others who want to discuss and hear about the issue as well. If you very purposefully incite groups of people to attack another group of people, I think that kind of speech should be restricted. It should be prohibited even. Even under international human rights law, you cannot incitement to war and things like that. You cannot do that. It's illegal. In terms of policy, and this is just a viewpoint, I think that race relations should be something that the citizenry themselves should deal with amongst themselves. I think the government cannot regulate race relations. When government begins to regulate race relations, you make a very clear affirmation that we have a racial problem. When in Malaysia, I don't think we ever had a racial problem. I don't think 69 had anything to do with race. I think it had more to do with political and economic disenfranchisement that certain communities had. You see that there were Chinese families that were giving shelter to Malay communities, Malay families, because they don't want them to be killed. So how do you explain something like that? So you know that it's much more deeper than race, that as much as there is ignorance and fear and hatred, there can also be compassion, understanding and tolerance, And I think that's what Malaysia really needs to look into, not this whole race, skin color thing, but how do you harness noble human values and move forward using those values as government policy and lawmaking and executive decisions and even judicial interpretation of law as well. I think sometimes must be tempered with this kind of values.